Happy New Year! It's time to kick off 2024, and while I ended last year with a tier list, I thought that this year I'd start off by talking about my personal top 5 most anticipated games. Now, I'm talking exclusively about games that are slated to come out for 2024. That does mean there are a few games I can't put on the list, like Civilization 7 or XCOM 3. As much as I'm anxiously awaiting the next masterpiece of strategy from Firaxis, neither of them have confirmed release dates. What I like about this episode, more than, regular episodes, is that it's entirely about games I can't wait to play. Because of the format of the show, even on the games I like, I have to find something to nitpick, so an episode where I can be exclusively positive sounds great to me. Okay, happy thoughts ready? Let's get into it. Coming in at number 5 is Bandle Tale, a League of Legends story. Everyone should know at this point I'm a shill for Riot. The quality of their games is always top-notch, they're one of the few developers not using predatory practices at every opportunity, and they keep expanding the IP into new genres so that everyone who loves the music or arcane can experience part of what makes League of Legends so great. I've never really been into the Animal Crossing type games, though I've tried them and the Harvest Moon series as well. But the reason I'm excited for this game is because my girlfriend loves those games. And I like sitting on the couch watching her play sometimes, while I work on scripts. It's just nice to spend time with people. She's come to learn so much about League from me watching the LEC every weekend and playing all of the Riot games. I even made her watch Arcane, so she likes the world, and I'm happy I can share it with her with a game she'll enjoy. And from what I've seen, Bandle Tale is more story-driven than the typical cozy game is, so I highly suspect I'll enjoy it a lot more when I play through it myself. Next on the list we have 33 Immortals. I don't remember how I first found 33 Immortals, but it's a roguelike dungeon crawler where you and 32 other players are trying to rebel against the gods. These large lobby multiplayer games always intrigue me. There's just so much to balance against. When there's 33 players all working together, how do you handle individual player agency versus teamwork? Because let's face it, none of us is rolling up with a full squad for this game. You'll have to play with randoms, which means the skill range for each match is going to vary massively, and trying to fill a full lobby is going to be hard. So I'm really curious to try this game and see how they pull it all off. I think making it a roguelike is really smart because then even when you're matched with players that you don't do well with, you're still making progress. It looks like a lot of fun. If the channel grows big enough by the time this game comes out, maybe I'll even try streaming and we can get a full squad of subscribers going. Number 3 on the list is Stormgate. This is StarCraft 3 in all but name. The team behind it is built up of so many ex-Blizzard employees, the two factions we've seen so far look a lot like Terran and Zerg, and there's already been a professional match between TLO and Mana, two pro StarCraft players that was also cast by Artosis and Tasteless, who are both ex-pro StarCraft players who became casters in South Korea. If there's any Day 9 fans watching this video, Tasteless is his brother, and he's got a song written about him. StarCraft has just been such a big part of my life. I watched the pros for years, it introduced me to Day 9, I used to love climbing the rank ladder or playing the arcade modes with my friends, and I would even argue it got me into strategy games as a whole. That's probably why I like League of Legends so much. The entire MOBA genre started as a mod in RTS games, so I'm really excited to see what the team at Frost Giant can do with the spiritual successor of StarCraft. In second place, it's Dragon Age Dreadwolf. I played and beat Dragon Age Origins 17 times from start to finish. BioWare makes great RPGs. The characters tend to feel real and well defined. I love exploring the story in these games, and the combat is fun as well. I typically prefer the fantasy setting over the future stuff, so as good as Mass Effect and Knights of the Old Republic were, Dragon Age is the series I like the best from BioWare. What's really fun about the Dragon Age series is seeing how your choices from the previous games affect the world going forward. I thought it was great seeing Hawk return in Dragon Age 3, even if it was just a small cameo, and I got to hear Leliana talk about the love of her life, my character from the first game. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's going on with Flemeth and Solus. Inquisition ended on a pretty big cliffhanger, and I'm ready for the next chapter. Is it any surprise that this is my number 1 game for 2024? And it comes out in February! In my review of part 1, I talked about how I wanted to see improvements to the AI in combat and have more team combos, and that's exactly what's coming in part 2. The combo attacks Square Enix showed off in the trailers look so awesome, and they're going to elevate the already excellent combat that was in the first part of the remake. Like, I shit on Final Fantasy XVI for its combat, not because it wasn't fun, but because you had very little meaningful customization, and the game didn't reward you for learning how to play. None of those problems exist in Remake. If you learn how to chain your abilities together in Remake, the stagger bar will fill faster and the damage you output gets ridiculous. Every character feels unique, and you can build any of them to be a mage or physical attacker. The materia choices in the game have huge impacts on how each character can play. And the fact that Square is adjusting the story from the original means that even though this is a remake, I'm excited to see what happens in the story. What else are they gonna change from the original? Is Aerith still gonna die in this one? This is my #1 most anticipated game for 2024. But just like I said at the end of my review for Remake Part 1, if they kill Tifa, I will instantly change my mind about all praise I've given to these games. Let me know what you thought of the list, and tell me about what your most anticipated games are going into this year. If you'd like to help support my channel, please consider subscribing and commenting. It helps a lot. I'm looking forward to sharing more games and reviews with you all this year.